Well, many of us are just constantly on the go. And if you're looking for a quick snack to grab, we may have just the thing here. It's another easy treat in this week's Brittany's Bites. Today, I'm back with a guest recipe. I love these. And you know, I make a lot of decadent things that maybe aren't so great for the diet, but we're lightening it up today with quick energy bars. And this guest recipe actually comes from the mother of one of our former reporters, Shelby Croft. Barbara Johnstone is her name, and she wrote in and says she's a former health and nutrition teacher, and she said she's made these for her class before and they loved it. So I thought, why not give it a try? It's basically like a lighter take on Rice Krispie treats. So sounds good, right? So let's get started. I have a pan getting pretty hot over here because we're gonna bring it to a boil. So to get started, we're gonna have 3/4 cup packed brown sugar. I have it in here all measured, ready to go. I'm gonna stick that down in there, and then a 1/2 cup of honey. And I also have that measured out. I sprayed my measuring cup here so that hopefully it comes right out. Ooh, yeah, as you can see, this pan is already hot. I'm gonna give it a little help by scooping this out here and mix this up. And you want to be constantly stirring this until it comes to a boil. So I'm gonna get doing that here. And then we're gonna remove it from the heat and add some peanut butter. So I wanna make sure I get all of these little clumps out of there. So I'm gonna keep stirring this and keep stirring this constantly until it comes to a boil, and then we'll move on to our next step. Okay, I would say that's boiling, so I'm gonna turn it off, take it off the heat here, scooch my little hot plate out of the way, and then we're gonna add a 1.5 cups of peanut butter. I'm gonna scoop that in and stir it all so it melts in. You can see how easy this comes together. So a great recipe for your kiddos who can at least are old enough to use the stove. All right, I'm gonna mix this in until it gets nice and smooth. And then we'll stir in our cereal. Okay, that's pretty smooth already. All right, the next thing we want to do is have some whole grain cereal. It wasn't specified in the recipe, so I just picked my favorite here, and I'm going to use this and see how it comes together. This is 5 cups, by the way. Now comes the hard part, trying to make sure all of this is combined. So one step at a time here. I'll stir this up. Okay, it's mostly combined now, so our final step, see how easy was this, is to stir in some fruit. Yes, that's right, this is why we're getting a little health in here, right? Nothing too sugary, some peanut butter and honey for sure, but not just a big cup of sugar or anything like that. So you can just use whatever your favorite dried fruit is. 6 ounces is what the recipe calls for. So I ended up just getting a little box of mixed dried fruit. This is the tropical mix. This was about 10 ounces, so I didn't quite use it all, but you can always throw more in if you'd like. So basically I decided to stick with the pretty ones. I didn't know about, there's some dried kiwi in here. I didn't know how green would look mixed in here. Might throw people off. So I just went with dried cherries, mangoes, pineapple, and apples. So looks pretty good, right? Just gonna toss this all in and stir it up. And then we'll put it in the pan. I gotta say, this will give you a little bit of an arm workout. That's probably why these are considered a little healthier, right? So I think everything is mostly combined. Still really kind of warm, so be careful. My pan is really hot still. So I'm gonna put this into, this is, actually let me tell you about the size. This is a 12 by 8-ish, so it's a little smaller than your 13 by 9. Of course, you can use the 13 by 9 if that's all you have handy. The bars will just turn out a little bit thinner, right? So, and it's greased. So I just sprayed it down here. All right, what I'm gonna do, hopefully not lose too many things, I'm gonna scoop this in here and then smooth it all out. Okay, we've got it all smoothed down, still really hot. So what we're gonna do is let this cool, and then we can cut them up into bars. How easy was that so far? Okay, I let these cool, actually stuck them in the fridge for a little bit so they could harden up, and I could cut one and give it a shot. Looks pretty good. I think I let it sit long enough, but I'm interested to taste one, so I couldn't wait too long. So I'm just going to cut out a little bar and see how they turned out. You know, getting the first one out is never easy, right? Okay, but that one worked. Take a look. Those are our quick energy bars, courtesy of Barbara. Thanks so much for the recipe. Can't wait to try it. Cheers. Well, remember, if you have a picture of a recipe of mine that you've made, I love getting those too. You can share it with us. Or if you have an idea for a guest recipe like this one, you can text us at 614-460-3345 or find me on social media.